Greetings, I'm Steve from Steve M Outdoors, and I'm here with a little bit of a do-it-yourself tip. This isn't a secret, a lot of people know this, but I keep bumping into people who don't know this little trick, so consider this my little attempt to inform and educate. So if you're like me, you reload, and if you reload, you might probably reload military calibers like 7.62 by 51, or in this case, 223. And if you reload, chances are you also have come across military crimped ammunition. And that's basically, I'll just put that into the camera. That is an example of an uncrimped primer. A crimped primer you'll see has kind of a little ring around on the outside between the primer and the casing itself. So if you're like me, you've got one of these. It's a handheld decrimping tool. And if you're like me, you started out life doing this to remove crimps. Not bad, it's a good tool, it works very well, but the problem is if you have a lot, and by a lot I mean a lot of casings to process, this is going to become a nightmare. So what I learned is that you can remove this from the handle. It's coming. So now you've got the decrimping tool right there. A drill. And if you put it in carefully so that the widest part just before the screws is the part that is hit by the chuck, or whatever you call that bit, I don't know. You can now do this way. Bam! And you can actually process quite a few cases an hour doing it with a drill versus doing it by hand. Now, a few important caveats. When you do this by hand, typically you're probably reaming it for 5-6 seconds, however long it takes. At best, you might turn your hand or turn the bit, cutter, whatever you want to call this, maybe 10 or 15 times. Your average drill, or at least this drill that I got here, goes at 2,600 revolutions per minute, which is roughly about 45 times a second, if my math is correct. So you don't have to keep it in there a long time. You can just kind of hit it real quick and you're done. Otherwise, you do have the risk of removing too much material from the primer pocket. And another note, what I would recommend, and I didn't do it in this video, but get yourself a pair of pliers and hold the casing like so, and then hit it with the drill. If you remember from the range, brass can get really hot, and if you spin that drill bit in there for 3 seconds, let's say, that is 130 revolutions of that bit in 3 seconds. This will get hot, and you will hurt your hand, or your fingers at least, if you hold on to it. And there's also the risk of the casing itself spinning in your fingers, so that's why I kind of just hold it very lightly in a set of pliers. I find these work the best, the ones that have that kind of cutout at the bottom. Sorry, I don't know what kind of pliers these are, but you'll see them. And that's basically it. And you can crank out, hundreds in an hour if you're one of those people who's a high achiever. I'm happy with 100 or 200. And that's basically it. So you can pick up this Lyman small pocket and large pocket reamer for about $13 a drill. You can get them as cheap as $15 to $20 brand new. I bought that one for about $19 Canadian on sale, brand new. Works fine. It doesn't need to be some crazy one. If you want a cordless one, great. If you don't, the corded ones work just as well, and I find you don't run out of battery power. So anyway, that's a little handy tip. Hopefully that helps you. This to this, and it saves you a lot of time. Happy shooting, safe shooting.